What is up, players? It's War Boss Tay up in this mug. Today I want to do a little debrief of the assembling of the Death Riders for the Death Corps of Krieg. Now, I bought these in the Combat Patrol, but you can buy a separate box just of them. I'm going to link the product so you could see for yourself if watching this video has interested you in getting some for your own collection. Now, this is what they look like in the Combat Patrol. Now, I have built the rest of this Combat Patrol according to the box, but I read somewhere that you can give these guys any of these loadouts, any of these weapons, and they will still count as the same thing. So I thought it would be more cinematic, more interesting to give them this shock lances. I think they just look so great. The profile is great with these lances, and I think it just looks more interesting than giving them power swords or a last rifle, like a laser rifle. I don't know, it just doesn't seem as interesting. So here's the leader. I built him up with the lance, as you can see, raising it high, and you're gonna either freehand or put some transfers into that little diamond in the flag, which seems like a lot of fun to me. I originally did not care for these models because all I saw was the box art, and when you actually build them, when you're putting them together, like most of the miniatures I've had problems with, my problems and my negative thoughts against them have largely evaporated. I think these are great sculpts. I like the charging pose now. They're not going to ever be better in my mind than the original Forge World resin, where they're just kind of standing still with their lances up, just looking really awesome. But these in full charge, full gallop, with each one of these soldiers either aiming or like this guy about to hurl his lance at an enemy, I think it looks really cinematic and really good. Now, I assembled these in the living room of my home in my little gaming corner so that I could be around my family if they need me. So I had to use a non-toxic liquid cement for plastic models. I used the Testers brand. It doesn't have any odor. It's the only one that my wife will let me use because she has a very sensitive sense of smell, and I'm afraid that the odor of like a Tamiya extra thin cement or a Testers red label liquid cement would just be too harsh for her and the babies as well. They shouldn't be exposed to this kind of smell. So I'm gonna link that in the description. You can check it out for yourself. This is the morning after I assembled these miniatures, and they have already melted and rebonded very nicely. So the next thing I want to do is take a look at the frame so that you can see for yourself what extra bits you get if you purchase this box. Here is a backpack up here. You can see at the bottom you also get the breastplate for the more ceremonial leader. This is actually the one I should have had on my sergeant, but I missed it. I didn't get to use it. I used the other one with the rebreather unit on the front, and I cannot reuse this one because you see those little holes in the breastplate. Those are meant for the gas mask of that particular model to sit on. So I guess I could reuse it, just green stuff in those holes, but it's just not gonna be the same. You also get a little bits and bobs that look like GoPro cameras. Not really sure what those are for. You do get 5 extra stowage of each of these types. So the empty scabbards for the laser rifles, these pouches that go on the back of the saddles, and you get an extra one of these little gas mask hoses. Now, the most interesting thing in these sprues, the one that has the most value right out of the box, are going to be these arms holding the power swords, the laser rifle carbines, or if you went with either of those loadouts, the spears, the lances, because depending on whichever loadout you use, you get all this extra kit that now you can use with your other miniatures. One of these swords has an extra arm that needs to be attached to it, but most of these you can see have all the way up to the shoulder armor. The extra stowage that I find most interesting is this little thing here that's wrapped up. It looks like a bayonet and the extension for the carbine, because you can see there's those lines for the grip underneath the laser rifle. Having just painted an infantry squad 10-man unit of Death Corps of Krieg, I kind of recognize the hand grip of the laser rifle and the shape of the bayonet. So it looks like they just wrapped them up tightly in tarp, and you're meant to put that on the back of your saddles so that you can imagine your Death Corps of Krieg Death Riders, switching things out and using them on the go. So like I said, I'm going to attach the product for the Combat Patrol. I think it's the best value for the dollar because usually it's MSRP $170 for this box, and I found somebody on Walmart selling it for $180, but I'm going to link someone that I found who's selling it for $144. So get it for an even bigger discount, and hopefully if I can continue finding savings and deals like this, then I'm going to attach it. This is the instructions for building them out. Now, I imagine they're going to be the same in the individual box as well as in the Combat Patrol. But basically, you get the two bodies of the two halves of the horse, and then you attach the tail section. I imagine you can use different numbered tails, like if they get lost, but I would just be safe, use the numbers as they correspond, because everything down to the heads, the way the horses are turning their heads, it corresponds to like the reins, the length of the reins and the angle of the arm. So you really want to go according to these instructions. Now the horse's head is basically, it comes in two pieces, the main part of the head and then the ears with the armor plate for the forehead, and then the armor plate for the chest. That's interchangeable, you could switch those out as you will, but really try to use the same heads to the horse's bodies and the tails that come with the instructions. Now moving on to the body of the riders, they are really smartly designed. The two halves of the legs attached to a little peg in the saddle, so you don't have to worry about getting the angles wrong of the riders, which is something I used to do all the time in fantasy with cavalry. And then the torso sits right on top. The heads all match the torso, so make sure you get the right angle. Then I love here how you can see the different variations of the build, so you can decide for yourself which build you want to go with. Now each build is color coordinated. You can see the boxes blue, green, and pink. So if you want to build a guy with a sword, you just look at the corresponding green box, so on and so forth. Then this shows you where all of the main kit will go, like the holstered gun, the holstered sword, so on and so forth. And here in the back it shows you where the stowage goes and what it's supposed to look like. Now I'm a little on the fence as to putting the stowage on. I might want to just keep it as extra bits. You'll see in the actual fully painted videos if I've decided to put them on or not. Also, you're going to hide the branding of the number of the horse. Oh, it looks like not. I thought you did, but those pouches don't look long enough to hide the brand. This is a great kit to include in the Combat Patrol. I don't know if it's great in the game, but I think it's fun because it gives us Death Korps of Krieg players a chance to paint something besides just the infantry. So the value of having this box included in the Combat Patrol, it's really well thought out. Even though I would have liked a bigger artillery piece, like a big gun or something, I think I'm going to have a lot of fun painting these guys up. Hey, thanks for watching the video, everybody. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment, hit that like button before you go, and subscribe to my channel for more videos. That's where I'm going to be deciding whether or not to put the stowage on or just paint up that glorious horse rump. Have a great day wherever you are and enjoy the hobby.